Johnny Grubb. I've got a really fun collection to show you. It's a number of autographed cards Johnny recently returned in the mail to me, plus a handwritten set of answers to a bunch of stats questions that I asked him. You probably don't know the name Johnny Grubb, especially if you're under 40 or 50 years old. He was a really good ball player, and in particular, a really good hitter. He played in the big leagues from 1972 to 1987, although he was a full-time starter in only a few of those years. His career batting average was .278, but remember that offense was lower during much of the 1970s and 80s, and in fact, MLB-wide batting average over the same span as Johnny's career was just .259, 19 points lower than Johnny's mark. His on-base percentage was .366, and across MLB during those same years it was .325, so that's a 41-point difference. He was a really, really, really good player at getting on base by hit or by walk. A few things to notice about his career. He had 16.6 WAR, which is a really respectable total, especially given that he didn't even play in 1,500 career games. His career Ops Plus, which is the OPS normalized for the offense of the league and ballparks and things like that, was 121, which shows he was really far above average with the bat. And notice that he finished his career with more walks than strikeouts. We'll come back to this in just a second. So here's the letter I sent to Johnny and the answers that he filled in by hand. I'm going to go through the Q&A, and then I'm also going to show you the cards that he signed, taking turns between the two. So first up, I asked him right off about whether he paid close attention to walking more than he struck out, and he sure did. He wrote that he always wanted to finish the season with more walks than strikeouts. He didn't do that every single season, but he did it enough to end his career that way, and that's really cool. And first up is his 1975 Topps card. This is actually not his rookie card. He did have one in the 1974 set, but I chose cards that I thought would look best with his autograph and the cards that I think are just the nicest designs. I think the 75 is a beautiful card. You can see his actual signature in blue above the facsimile that was printed right on the original card, and that's the case with most of the cards you're going to see here. My next question for Johnny was about the times in his career that he almost ended up on the Reds during their Big Red Machine days, or on the Phillies actually when they were really great in the early 1980s, and whether he had any regrets about not landing in either of those places. His answer, very humble, was that he never really thought about it, and wearing any MLB uniform was great. I think that's just the kind of guy Johnny is. Next card is his 1976 Topps. Again, with that live signature over a printed facsimile. My next question was about the '84 Tigers. Johnny was a really important supporting player on that team. He had some big hits in the playoffs. He put up great offensive numbers overall in 86 games. And of course, the Tigers just steamrolled their way to a championship that year. I asked him if that was the best team he's ever played on, and he said, absolutely not a chance. The 1984 team was awesome. And hey, here's another 1976 Topps card, because this is one of my favorite set designs. I couldn't pass up the chance to get two of them signed, so I did. Next, I asked Johnny to name an unsung hero on that 1984 Tigers team, and he picked out Billy Consolo, who was a longtime bench coach with the Tigers under Sparky Anderson. Johnny added that all of the coaches on that team were very good. The next card's a really interesting one, 1976 O-Pee-Chee. This was, of course, the top set specifically produced for Canada. And because that set always came out later than the corresponding top set in any given year, O-Pee-Chee was usually able to update some of the players that had changed teams during the off-season. And Johnny moved from the Padres to the Indians, so you can see they airbrushed his entire cap and his entire uniform. And here are the backs of those cards. As is typically the case with O-Pee-Chee, they were printed on a brighter cardstock than the Topps counterparts. And so you can see the brighter card on top here. And although you can't really make it out in this video, the card back of the O-Pee-Chee card includes both English and French text. Next, I asked Johnny about his performance against Phil Niekro, and that's the pitcher he faced more than any other guy, and also about Dennis Eckersley. Grubb hit both of these guys really, really well. Pause the video if you want to look at the numbers. I put them there in the letter. Johnny's answer, of course, was very humble, saying he guesses they just gave him good pitches to hit, and both guys really deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But take a look at those numbers. They're pretty staggering. Next up is Johnny's 1982 Topps card. Beautiful card, excellent color matching between the design and the uniform. Just love it. I asked Johnny about his splits from the number 2 spot and the number 7 spot in the lineup, both of which were insanely good. He hit over 300 and slugged over 480 from each of those spots. He didn't have any particular explanation, and he just gave credit to whoever was hitting behind him. I don't know if there's any other reason, but again, you can look at the numbers there. They are pretty impressive. Here's Johnny's 1983 Topps card. Another color-matched beauty. The next question is about when he faced the Red Sox and the Twins. Again, pause the video if you'd like to see his splits against those two teams. They are insane. Johnny said he liked the ballparks and he liked facing all the right-handed pitchers on those teams. The final card I'm showing today is Johnny's 1988 Topps edition. That's the last card of his career because he actually finished playing after the 87 season. And of course, this is one of my most favorite sets. I have a soft spot for 88 Topps and I love this card. Really thankful to have it in my collection with his autograph. My last question for Johnny was a tantalizing one. I pointed out that he slugged .703 in his career at Fenway Park, and I wondered if he ever had hoped to join the Red Sox so he could play a full year there, but no, that thought never occurred to him. He did point out that the Red Sox drafted him. In fact, he was drafted 4 times before he finally signed with the Padres. He was drafted first by the Red Sox, then the Reds, then the Braves, I believe, and then finally the Padres. All right, that wraps it up. Here's a last look at all the cards. Thank you so much to Johnny Grubb for his thoughtful answers and for signing all of these. He seems like a really nice guy, and I hope he's loving retirement. And thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. It makes a big difference and really helps the channel grow. And also be sure to check out our daily Now Batting Shorts series. That's featuring rips of all sorts of baseball card packs and putting all kinds of fun stats in there. Thanks for watching.